Chapter 31 Angry Tang Hao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man did not dare to be careless. After breaking free from the restraint, he immediately attacked Tang San. The latter took his time and relied on the flexibility of the ghost to quickly approach Li Dawei. Master, be careful. The old man was in confusion, and the sixth soul ring under his feet suddenly lit up. The sixth soul skill, Turtle Shell Protection. The old man's tortoise shell appeared around Li Dawei, and all the hidden weapons thrown by Tang San were blocked by the tortoise shell. However, Tang San was not eager to fight. Lan Yinchao pulled Xiao Wu and quickly disappeared around the corner of the street. The old man still wanted to chase him, but as Tang San retreated, he kept throwing hidden weapons at Li Dawei. The old man had no choice but to stop his pursuit. Li Dawei's safety was the top priority. Seeing Tang San and the others walking away, the old man quickly helped Li Dawei up. Master, are you okay? As a young master from a rich family, he has never experienced what he is today. Ordinary great spirit masters would be timid when meeting them, but they didn't expect that they would encounter a tough opponent like Tang San today. After a while, Li Dawei came to his senses and asked loudly, Mr. Guan, why don't you chase me? The old man lowered his head and explained, Master, that boy is like a hedgehog. The responsibility of my subordinates is to protect the safety of the young master, so. Li Dawei was also frightened. If Mr. Guan hadn't reacted quickly just now, the coldly gleaming arrow might have pierced his heart. Let's go, Mr. Guan, let's leave this bullshit noting city as soon as possible. All this must have been arranged by Xiao Zhan, the lord of Nodding City, and I must tell my father about the situation. Xiao Zhan, just wait to be held accountable. Unconsciously, the clothes under his crotch were already soaked, and waves of fishy smell hit his nostrils. The old man did not dare to laugh at the other party, so he could only follow Li Dawei silently, using his soul power to block the spread of the smell. As for Tang San and the other two, the old man had just seen clearly the school badges on their bodies. As long as they were investigated in the city, it would be easy to find each other's whereabouts. However, the person who spoke out between them was Li Dawei. The latter had decided to leave, and it was not easy for the old man to oppose him. After getting out of the old man's sight, Xiao Wu was not in the mood to eat carrot soup. Worried about the old man's revenge, Tang San took Xiao Wu and quickly hid in the academy. At least, the academy is officially owned by the Tian Empire. Even if the powerful Soul Emperor wants to come in and make trouble, he has to weigh the influence of the Tian Empire. On the other hand, Tian saw the girl who had escaped not long after he left that street. Seeing this, he had already guessed what would happen next. The only thing he has to do now is buy food for the road. He didn't return to the academy until evening. Recalling what happened during the day, he specifically looked at Tang San. As a result, one of the two men acted nervous, while the other acted as if nothing was wrong. After all, Tang San had lived in 2 lifetimes, and his mind was still mature. But the calmer he behaves, the clearer the problem becomes. Everything is ready, the only thing missing is Tang Hao's talent. Qitian couldn't help but look into the distance, worried that Tang San would sneak up on them from the dark. Li Dawei and the old man moved very slowly. They even left the carriage they came with and walked for most of a day before arriving at the city gate. Buying a carriage at random, the two of them drove quickly towards the direction of Fasno City without stopping for a moment. Damn you brat, when we come back, you will definitely hang your head on the ground. I will cramp you up, and your head will be the vessel for serving wine at the banquet. Suddenly, the old man driving the car grabbed the galloping horse. Li Dawei, who was sitting in the carriage, had a close contact with his cheek. After the carriage stopped, Li Dawei angrily opened the curtain and shouted loudly, Mr. Guan, do you want to rebel? At this time, the old man was staring at the man in the linen cloak in front of the carriage with a wary expression, and had no time to pay attention to Li Dawei. Who are you, sir? Why are you blocking my way? The old man asked in a deep voice. If an ordinary person blocks the road, he will definitely run him over without hesitation. But no, the aura of the person in front of him was so violent that even the old man couldn't see his specific strength. If you run over rashly, the carriage will be overturned, and it is very likely to anger the other party. Seeing that the man did not speak, the old man added, if this is your territory, we are willing to leave immediately. Mr. Guan, don't talk nonsense to him. just kill him. Li Dawei didn't know why and shouted loudly. Master, this guy is not easy to mess with. Someone may have sent him to kill us. The old man said solemnly, if he hadn't sold himself to Liu Tian in his early years, he would never have acted as a bodyguard for a playboy like Li Dawei. Along the way, many things were initiated by Li Dawei, and he had already had enough. The man in the cloak was Tang Hao. During the day, he was planning to leave Nodding City for a while. But suddenly he sensed the fluctuation of the soul power of the powerful Soul Emperor appearing near Tang San. When he arrived, Tang San had already escaped unharmed, so he suppressed the anger in his heart and waited for them to leave the city before chasing them out to settle the score. Tang San was his son, let alone Li Dawei. Even if Liu Tian was disadvantageous to Tang San, he would still kill him. During the day, you were the ones who attacked the mistress, right, mistress? The old man thought about it for a while, and then he remembered that the girl during the day seemed to be called the Bluesilver Grass Spirit Master Tang San. Thinking about it, this mistress must be him. We are the family of the governor of Fasno province. Who are you? Get out of the way. But the old man knew that this matter might not go well, so he wanted to use the governor's name to frighten the other party. He only hoped that no one else from the other side was ambushing nearby, otherwise Li Dawei would definitely die if he took action. Tang Hao didn't buy it. If you dare to touch my son, be prepared to die. Why are you being polite to Mr. Guan? Kill him. When you get back, I will ask your father to take credit for you. Liu Tian lost his temper and pointed at Tang Hao and shouted angrily. The old man had no choice but to activate his martial spirit and stand in front of him. On the other hand, Tang Hao, every time he took a step, a soul ring would appear under his feet. 9 steps later, 9 soul rings of yellow, purple, black, and red appeared at his feet. 100,000-year soul ring, titled Douluo. Li Dawei finally realized that he was afraid. Orange liquid flowed uncontrollably from between his legs. His body collapsed on the ground and he kept begging for mercy. I'm so young that I can't see the mountains. Your Majesty, please let me go. Haotian Hammer martial spirit, it seems we can't escape. The old man looked bitter. With the old man's age, he naturally knows the affairs of Haotian Sect. Facing the furious clear sky hammer titled Douluo, how many strong men on the mainland can guarantee that they will be able to defeat them? Even the Tiando Empire could only avoid the edge temporarily when faced with such a guy. This is the case in the Tiando Empire, let alone Li Dawei, a second-generation official. Tang Hao didn't say much. He raised the clear sky hammer in his hand and smashed the 2 guys into meat pies with 1 hammer. My Tang Hao's son is not something you guys can touch. Chapter 32 Departure, Star Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The fact that Li Dawei was killed could not spread in a short time in Douluo Continent, a society with limited information. No one even discovered that he had been killed. The city guards arranged by Xiao Zhan only found Li Dawei's carriage in Nodding City. According to the manager of the stable, the person who stored the carriage had not shown up for a day. This did not appear, but there are many articles in it. It's possible that Li Dawei was having so much fun that he forgot about the carriage. Or maybe Li Dawei was killed in the city. Thinking of this, Xiao Zhan immediately sent someone to take over the stable and asked all the original staff of the stable to go to other cities. Whenever there is news that Li Dawei is missing or dead, he will destroy the carriage immediately, at least not to get angry. In the city lord's palace, after waiting for 2 days, Xiao Zhan still found no trace of Li Dawei and others. I just heard that they once appeared on Feng Street, had a conflict with someone, and then disappeared. Lord City Lord, our city guard found a large pit in the suburbs, with some traces of blood remaining in it. I just confirmed that it was human blood, but there were no other traces around. A soldier hurried over to report. Xiao Zhan thought for a while. He asked the owners of the romantic places in the city one by one to make sure that no such person was in their store. Based on the previous situation, he had a hunch that Li Dawei was likely to be killed. At this point, he waved his hand and said, "Let Xiao Ding and Xiao Li, Xiao Zhan's eldest and second sons, get rid of the carriage. Also, I'm going out for a trip. Unless it's urgent, don't come to me for the time being." In nodding college, Tian carried his luggage. Early this morning, Su Changqing personally delivered the graduation certificate to him. From that moment on, Tian officially graduated. As for the graduation test, as long as the soul power reaches level 10, you can pass the test and the college will give you a graduation certificate. But with Qitian's strength, is this test still needed? It is worth mentioning that without a diploma from the Junior Soul Master Academy, you cannot enter the Intermediate Soul Master Academy. Therefore, those who are not talented enough can either continue to study in the Junior Soul Master Academy, or they can choose to graduate and go home to inherit the family business, but admission to the Advanced Soul Master Academy does not depend on these factors. As long as the soul power exceeds level 21 and the age is under 25 years old, you can enter. Tian didn't want to be watched by everyone, so he simply left through the back door of the college with Su Changqing. Along the way, Su Changqing explained many things about the Soul Master world in order to avoid accidents in Qitian. Unknowingly, the two of them had arrived at the city gate. Xiao Zhan was standing at the city gate at this time, waiting for the two of them. Brother Su, boy Qi. Uncle Xiao. Qitian greeted. Xiao Zhan is the person who has taken the best care of him in Nodding City during these years besides Su Changqing. Tian is a person who must repay kindness, and he silently remembers the kindness he received from Xiao Zhan, Su Changqing and others. Mr. Qi, Brother Su should have told you that I would recommend an academy to you. Xiao Zhan said with a smile. Later, I heard from Brother Su that you decided to go to the Advanced Soul Master Academy. Fortunately, the Soul Master Academy I recommend to you is the Advanced Soul Master Academy, otherwise I'm afraid there will be some trouble. Tian said with a grateful face, Thank you, Uncle Xiao. Actually, it doesn't have to be so troublesome. Xiao Zhan waved his hand and said nonchalantly, Brother Su told me that the higher the starting point of a Soul Master, the higher his future achievements will be. With such a starting point, you will naturally be worthy of going to a higher school. Those incompetent sons are not qualified, and the quotas assigned to our Xiao family in recent years have never been used, and they are still vacant, so I might as well give them to you. Xiao Zhan was telling the truth. As for the academy he recommended, it must be Tiando Royal Academy. For the great nobles, there is no threshold there. But for Xiao Zhan's status, there is a threshold. Moreover, if the family disciples are not sent to study for a long time, their career will be affected. On the whole, letting Qitian go can be regarded as a win-win result. I almost forgot. Xiaoyu has now gone to a soul-hunting forest in the north and started a soul-hunting team. This is also a good experience for him. Mr. Qi, you might even run into each other in the future. Uncle Xiao, I will definitely go to see Qinyu if I have the chance. Tian replied, children of aristocrats mature very quickly after entering society. This sentence is also true for Xiao Qinyu. Since graduation, Xiao Qinyu has never contacted the gangsters who once played with him. However, Wang Sheng, who was often bullied by him, became very close to him. Wang Sheng's hometown is from a nearby village. After graduation, he had 10th level soul power but no soul ring. I originally thought about finding a job in the city and then go hunting for souls after I saved up enough money. Tian also wanted to raise some money to help him, but then Xiao Qinyu came forward and helped Wang Sheng get the first soul ring. Since then, the two of them have formed a deep friendship. It is estimated that Wang Sheng is also doing business with him on the soul hunting team now. Okay, Lao Xiao, please stop saying a few words. If we don't leave today, we may not be able to find a hotel before dark. Su Changqing interrupted. Xiao Zhan slapped his forehead and said with a smile, Look at my memory, I almost forgot. Hey, boy Qi, take this letter and go to Tiando Royal Academy. Then you can go to school there. As he spoke, he handed a letter stamped with the seal of the city lord's palace into Tian's hands. Su Changqing did not expect that it would be this academy. He couldn't help but remind Xiao Tian, there are many dandy children in Tiando Royal Academy, and with the feasting in Tiando City, it is easy for people to fall. I believe you can resist the temptation. But you have to remember that there are many children of big noble families in the academy, so be sure not to offend them. It is best to find a backer with a strong background after enrolling. His starting point is based on Qitian not being bullied, but Qitian estimated that once he broke through the Soul Sect, with his physique and strength, ordinary Soul Sects would be unable to do anything to him. One more thing, Tiando Royal Academy is not in Tiando City, but on the outskirts of Tiando City. If you really can't find it, go to the city and ask around. With that said, Xiaozhan pointed to the road Qitian was about to take. Qi boy, you can't take this road for the time being. To avoid unnecessary trouble, it's better to take a detour. Qitian glanced at the direction of the road and understood immediately, walking along this official road, you can reach Fastno City. Tang Hao definitely couldn't stand it when Tang San was bullied like that by Li Dawei. Li Dawei probably died on this road, and Xiao Zhan probably found some clues while chasing the wind. Xiao Tian, take this package. Inside is some food I prepared for you. I hope you can use it on the way. Su Chongqing took out a package from the Soul Guide. Without giving Qi Tian a chance to refuse, he shoved it into the opponent's hands. Chapter 33 Soul Beast Town. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. It was not the custom in Douluo Continent to open packages in front of the gift giver, so Qitian had no choice but to accept it. After saying goodbye, Qitian changed his path, officially left his comfort zone and embarked on the road of hard work. Watching the outline of Nodding City gradually disappear, Qi Tian saw a protruding stone on the roadside and simply sat on it, opening the package. There were a lot of dried meat made from soul beast meat, as well as a letter. Opening the letter, there was also a gold soul card worth 10,000 gold soul coins inside. The favors I owe are really increasing. Qi Tian said with a grateful face, although he has some gold soul coins on him, compared to his future expenses, this amount of money is simply a drop in the bucket. These 10,000 gold soul coins can alleviate his embarrassment to a great extent. The first half of the content of the letter contains some words of concern. The second half is Su Chongqing's summary of the direction suitable for Qitian's future development. Among them, the Soul Master competition in a few years is particularly important. Su Chongqing hopes that Qi Tian will practice hard in the academy and strive to play as a substitute in the next competition to accumulate competition experience. He will appear as a formal member of the team in the next competition and strive for a good ranking. Dean, don't worry, I will definitely achieve good results in this competition. Qi Tian's eyes were firm. Su Chongqing's plan was consistent with Yu Xiaojiang's original expectations for Tang San and others. But no one expected that Tang San and the others would defeat Wuhundian Academy and win the championship. However, Tiando Royal Academy only has the potential to win the championship if it makes it to the first team. The second team is simply a bunch of rotten fish. If I remember correctly, at this time, the members of Huang Dou's first team have been confirmed. This is a headache. Without enough strength and background, he basically can't get into the first team of Huang Dou. Even if they get in, they will only be substitutes. The Royal Dou team can pass the finals, and the substitutes have no chance to play. We haven't officially enrolled yet, so it's obviously unnecessary to think about it so much. At the end of the letter, Su Chongqing hoped that after Qi Tian completed his studies at the Advanced Soul Master Academy, it would be best not to blindly join some forces. Sects are inherited in the form of clans, and people with other surnames are inherently inferior to their own family members. As for Wuhun Palace, under the leadership of Bibi Dong, Wuhun Palace has changed its nature and is not as good as before. Putting away the letter, Qi Tian let out a long sigh. The road ahead is long and there will be many changes along the way, so planning in advance is meaningless. But phased goals still need to be set. After hunting the soul ring, you can first hone your boxing skills in the big soul fighting arena. The Star Forest is not far from Nodding City, and it takes 2.5 days to reach it. I don't know if Tang Hao went out to avoid the limelight, but he didn't show up along the way. Qitian didn't realize that someone was following him. Qi Tian did not go directly to the Star Dou Forest. In the meantime, he went back to the Holy Soul Village and informed old Jack of his next movements. Holy Soul Village is closer to Star Dou Forest than Nodding City. Otherwise, Tang Hao would not have been able to come here immediately after he severely wounded Qian Xuanji. 3 days later, the Soul Beast town was on the outskirts of the Star Doe forest. The purpose of establishing this town is to facilitate the soul-hunting soul masters to obtain timely supplies when entering and exiting the forest. Not only that, there will also be people here who can help with soul-hunting services. There is no limit to the recipients of services, except poor people. In Douluo Continent, 9 out of 10 things can be settled with money. The remaining one requires more money. Entering the town, Tian was not in a hurry to find the soul-hunting team. He walked into a restaurant and ordered a table of meals at a large price. The food here is much more expensive than outside. The maximum price of this large table in Notting City is 1 gold soul coin, but here it costs 10, of course. Tian cannot spend this money in vain. While being invited to a private room by the waiter in the restaurant, he also inquired. "Brother, I am here to obtain a soul ring. Do you think there are any soul-hunting teams around here that have a better reputation?" That the guy said with a flattering look on his face. "Guest, you are really insulting me. Just call me Xiaoyozi. As for the soul-hunting team you want, I'm not a soul master. I'm afraid it's hard to tell. Please wait a moment." "Wait, I will call the shopkeeper here." Not long after, a fat middle-aged man strode in. "Dear guest, I can't tell you exactly what you want to ask. I can only give it to a few soul-hunting teams for reference. It's up to you to decide whether to go or not." Qitian nodded slightly. He didn't believe that Xiaoyozi didn't know. There must be a conflict of interest involved. It was just not convenient for Xiaoyozi to talk about it. The middle-aged man said, "Hemlock Team, Wangxi Team and Hog Team, the leaders of these 3 teams are all high-level soul sections. Judging from the age of the guests, they should be strong enough." Further up the Soul King team, the only one still stationed in the town is Leo's team. As for the Soul Emperor and Soul Saint teams, if your distinguished guests need it, I can help make an appointment. Qitian thought for a moment. His 3rd soul ring will take about 3,500 years. Moreover, the soul beasts provided by the system are not easy to mess with. That earth dragon almost killed Su Chongqing. After thinking for a moment, Qitian asked again, "Team Leo, is their captain an intermediate or high-level soul king? What is the soul ring ratio?" That the middle-aged man looked startled, then laughed and said no more. This kind of news is not something that ordinary people can know. His behavior is nothing more than trying to make some money. Qitian handed over 10 gold soul coins with a pained look on his face. Leo has level 55 strength, and the soul ring is the best match. In addition, there are 5 people in their team. Apart from him, the other 4 are all soul sects, and their strength cannot be underestimated. Dear guest, if you decide to ask them to take action, you must prepare enough money. Seeing that Qitian had no intention of asking any more questions, the middle-aged man wisely exited the private room. It is very difficult for the soul sect to deal with the soul beasts that are around 3,500 years old, and they are not even willing to accept such a commission. The price of the Soul Emperor team must be ridiculously high, and Qitian simply cannot afford it. Although this middle-aged man is suspected of charging introduction fees, Leo's team seems to be his only choice. As the food was served one after another, Qitian stopped thinking. People are like iron, and food is like steel. If you don't eat, how can you have the strength to think about these things? That night, Qitian stayed at a hotel in the town. The soul hunting team is a group of guys who lick blood on the tip of a knife, especially in the forest, a place outside the law. Their true nature will be completely exposed. Killing employers is also common. One night, Qitian figured out the countermeasures. At dawn, he walked into the town, where the soul hunting team was stationed. Su Chongqing gave him a soul guide as a gift, which he hid in his sleeve. Su Chongqing has warned him countless times about not exposing his wealth. Dear guest, do you need to hunt for souls? Choose our team, the price is favorable. Why don't you consider it? Don't listen to him. Their team is just a soul master team. They can only hunt souls in the outermost part of the forest. Come to our team. Chapter 34 Leo Team. You are listening at novelfull.audio. These teams who took the initiative to promote were not very strong and were not what Qitian needed. Just imagine, for a truly capable team, would they brag about how strong they are? Looking around, Tian finally remembered that he didn't know anyone from Liu's team. You can't ask the sales guys in front of you. They won't give their business to others. As the sun gradually rises, more and more people come here to look for the soul hunting team. It turned out that the guys surrounding Tian also found other employers. Seeing the time passing by, Tian simply stood on a high place and shouted, "Who dares to accept the commission of a 3,500-year-old rare bloodline soul beast?" For a moment, the originally lively team station became silent. The strength of a 3,005-year-old rare bloodline soul beast is not inferior to that of an ordinary 7,000-year-old soul beast. As for soul beasts of higher age and soul masters who need soul rings, as long as they are not extremely popular, there will be people willing to help them. This is also one of the reasons why teams above Soul Emperor will not be stationed here for a long time. What a loud tone. It depends on whether you have the strength. Soon, a thin man walked out of the crowd. Behind him were 3 burly men, with a 5-person configuration. Could it be Liu's team? Tian guessed in his mind. Oh. It seems you want to take the order. Tian asked knowingly. At this time, the more attention he receives, the safer he will be when hunting souls. On the other hand, if you know someone from the other team, after seeing that you have not come back, the other team will not be able to survive here. Hunting your employer can only be done behind the scenes. Once it comes to the forefront, you will be in big trouble. The man sneered. My name is Liu. If you can pay me enough money, then why not accept your commission? Please. The big man behind the man made a please gesture. Soon after, Tian followed them to a wooden house, which was the temporary residence of Liu's team. Liu sat on the chair, and the 4 strong men stood behind him, looking very oppressive. Tian picked up the seat beside him and sat in front of Liu. Courageous. Liu narrowed his eyes slightly. A soul ring of 3,500 years is usually the 4th soul ring of a soul master. At Qitian's age, Liu didn't look like he was going to obtain the 4th soul ring. Thinking of this, Liu asked, "Who arranged for you to come here to find someone?" "I will only talk to the employer." "I am the employer," Tian said. "You?" Liu and the other 5 couldn't help but laugh. A brat with no hair at all, who needs a soul ring of 3,500 years, are you just making fun of us? Tian didn't want to explain anything about this, and said calmly, "I pay you, and you are responsible for hunting the soul beasts. Even if I can't absorb the soul ring and let it dissipate on its own, it doesn't matter to you." Liu applauded. They only recognized money and not people, but Tian got to the point. 3,500 years of soul beasts, you need to pay us at least 5,000 gold soul coins. Soul beasts of rare bloodline, the price will double. If we encounter those soul beasts with the best bloodline, we won't charge more, but if we can't defeat them, we can choose to escape. In addition, the body of the soul beast belongs to us. If there are soul bones, hey, if you are not afraid of us going back on our word, you can choose to give gold soul coins equivalent to the soul bones, and then the soul bones will be yours. Otherwise, the soul bones will be yours. The bones will be disposed of by us. The corpse of the soul beast can be eaten or used as medicine. After being packaged and sold, it can also make a lot of money. As for the soul bone, the probability of it exploding is extremely small. Moreover, Liu did not want soul bones to appear. 10,000 gold soul coins are fine. Qitian gritted his teeth and agreed. His original savings included more than 3,000 gold soul coins, all of which he had earned through hard work. If Su Changqing hadn't given him 10,000 before leaving, he wouldn't have had enough money. "Take the money, and we will enter the forest immediately." Liu stretched out his hand. Tian responded calmly, "I don't have the money. You guys wait here for a while. I'll be back soon." "Are you making fun of us?" a strong man behind Liu asked with a look in his eyes. Tian smiled faintly, not at all intimidated by him. "We haven't entered the forest yet, so you have nothing to lose." Besides, I said I wanted to hunt souls in front of so many people, so there is no reason to go back on my word. The strong man wanted to say something else, but was stopped by Leo. He could sense that Qitian had the aura of a superior person. This was something Leo had never seen before, and he even admired Qitian a little. We are at the entrance of the forest, expecting you to come with money. Qitian would not be stupid enough to take money in front of these guys. This kind of behavior is like saying, I am rich, you are here to grab the money. After walking around the town for a few times, Qitian entered the hotel. In fact, the money had always been on him, and entering the room to withdraw the money was just a pretense. At the entrance of the Star Forest, Qitian handed over the gold soul card worth 10,000 gold soul coins. Leo accepted with a smile. Dear guest, you are indeed true to your word. It's still early today, so come with us into the forest. Qitian did not refuse. At the same time, the general position of the soul beast prepared for him by the system appeared in his perspective. Wind demonic dog, 3005 years old, speed soul beast. As soon as he entered the forest, someone entered the hotel room where he was staying. It's a pity that this guy can't turn over anything. According to the information I got, I know the general location of the soul beast. How about I lead the way? If we encounter dangerous areas in the middle, we can take a detour. Qitian suggested. The soul beasts in the Star Doe forest are distributed in a clear hierarchy, but there are also some powerful soul beasts that will choose the outer reaches of the forest as their territory. Leo didn't refuse, on the contrary, he was happy. If the employer just tells the type of soul beast, it will take a lot of effort for them to find it, and they may not even be able to find it in a month. Qitian knows the location of the soul beast, so this trip will save a lot of time. However, before that, I have to ask one more question. What type of soul beast do you need? Wind attributes soul beast, but it is not a bird. With your agility and attack spirit master's skills, it is not difficult to deal with it. Qitian guessed based on the information provided by the system. Leo smiled lightly. With his thin stature, anyone with some knowledge can guess that he is an agility and attack type soul master. Let me introduce, these four are Wendong, Wennan, Wenxi, and Wenzhong. They come from the same village, and their martial spirits are also giant bears, defensive spirit masters. My martial spirit is the Gale demonic wolf, so to speak. Agility and attack type soul master. Qitian, martial soul double fist, strong attack type soul master. Understanding each other's martial souls will be helpful for subsequent soul hunting, and Qitian did not hide them. Chapter 35 Wind Demonic Dog. You are listening at Audio. The Fist Martial Spirit. I once heard a guy named Wenzozo say that it is independent of the beast martial spirit and the weapon martial spirit. It seems to be called the body martial spirit. Leo touched his chin and recalled in his mind road. Qitian turned sideways and said with a smile, it seems that your knowledge is much better than that of a guy who calls himself a master. There are very few people who know the original martial soul, and it is rare to meet one. Leo crossed his arms on his chest and sneered, Master. What fool would call himself that? What kind of master is he, a spirit master or a pissing master? Speaking of this, the five of them laughed out loud in unison. Qitian shrugged, Master of Irrigation. Ha ha ha. After laughing for a while, Leo couldn't help but joked. That guy told me that his body is very powerful and he has an innate advantage in martial soul perception. Maybe you can become a strong man on your own in the future. I accept your good words. Seeing the relaxed and happy atmosphere in the soul hunting team, Qitian secretly breathed a sigh of relief. You know, when searching for a soul hunting team, the most fearful thing is a dispute between the employer and the soul hunting team. To a large extent, this will cause the soul hunting team to quarrel. Qitian was not sure about the temperament of these people, but judging from the current situation, they were getting along quite happily. Leo quickly became serious. Okay, let's stop joking after getting here. Stay vigilant. Whether it is on the ground, in the sky, or underground, there may be emergencies. The Star Doe forest is somewhat similar to the Amazon rainforest that Qitian visited in his previous life. As we go deeper, the ground is no longer entirely dirt. Tall trees grew densely together, and their huge rhizome systems had grown above the ground. Tian and others could only walk on the tree roots. Once you miss the mark, you will most likely fall into a deep pit under the tree roots. For low-level soul masters who cannot fly, falling from a height is absolutely fatal. After 2 days of traveling, Tian and his party were getting closer and closer to the territory of the wind-like demonic dog. The surrounding environment is no longer stuffy. On the contrary, the strong wind that keeps blowing brings waves of refreshing coolness. This is really the territory of the wind attribute soul beast. Leo twisted his neck with a satisfied look on his face. For the Gale demon wolf spirit, this windy environment is the place where he feels most comfortable. When Dong formed a diamond-shaped formation of 4 people, wrapping Qitian in it, Leo sniffed his nose and gave his judgment. This should be the territory of the wind-like dog. No, this is still a mutant species. Fortunately, they are not a group of soul beasts. The wind fiend dog and the Gale demon wolf often have turf wars. The wind fiend dog is a mutation of the wind fiend dog. For Leo, who possesses the Gale demon wolf spirit, the wind fiend dog is also his mortal enemy. Qitian was afraid that he would become red-blooded, so he quickly added, the wind fierce demonic dog is the best for me, and I must complete the final blow. Leo glanced at him and couldn't help but ask, aren't you a strong attack-type soul master? Why do you need agility attack-type soul rings? However, he only needs to fulfill his employer's requirements, and he doesn't care about the reasons. This sentence can only be used as a reminder to Qitian. Since it is provided by the system, it must be the most suitable. My punch speed is not fast enough now. It seems that absorbing this soul ring should increase my punch speed. Qitian analyzed it in his mind and said, just this one. Wenzhong and Wenxi, you protect Qitian. Wendong and Wennan, you support from the side, and I will take the main attack. Leo arranged. Speed-type soul beasts are most suitable for him, an agility and attack-type soul master, to deal with. In fact, he could do it alone. In order to prevent other soul beasts from sneaking attacks, he asked 2 people to hold the battle. Qitian and the others tried their best to suppress their auras and quietly touched the edge of the wind-like demonic dog's territory. As an employer, he can just pick the peaches without any effort. Leo and Wendong rushed over quickly. Roar. Smelling the scent of the intruder, the wind-fierce demonic dog roared and prepared for a fight. Possessed by the wind demonic wolf, the moment the Gale demonic wolf spirit appeared, this was destined to be an endless battle. 5 yellow, purple, and black soul rings appeared at Leo's feet, and the 55th level soul power was undoubtedly exposed. His strength, if converted into soul beast years, is about 14,000 years. It has far exceeded the age of the foam-like demon dog. The latter sensed the threat and chose to run away. The wisdom of a 1,000-year-old soul beast is already equivalent to that of a human child. This guy is a mutated and rare soul beast, and his level of wisdom will only be higher. Qitian looked at this scene and felt anxious in his heart. Guys like Leo know the size of the soul beast's territory very well. Once the wind fiend demonic dog enters the territory of other spirit beasts, they will definitely not continue to pursue it. By then, there will be big trouble. However, as Leo left their sight, when she looked at Qitian with increasingly unkind looks. Outside, Shaoli and Xiao Ding secretly drove Lidou's carriage away from Notting City. Xiao Zhan immediately wrote a letter and sent it to the governor's mansion. Liu Tian naturally knew Lidou's virtues, so whenever he arrived in a city, Liu Tian would write a letter to the local city lord. For him, it doesn't matter whether his city lord is honest or not, or whether he is strong or weak. The important thing is to be a good person, and Li Dawei was the one he sent out to test the reactions of these subordinates. In the letter, Xiao Zhan explained some things out of thin air and stated that Li Dawei was having a great time. Of course, Liu Tian would not believe his words and needed to confirm with Li Dawei. Fastno City is not very far from Notting City. Even if there are delays on the way, with Guan Lao's driving skills, 5 days should be enough to return. But now 10 days have passed, and not only has there been no news from Li Dawei, but even the trace of the carriage has disappeared in a small town. Li Dawei is ignorant, how could Mr. Guan be ignorant? Liu Tian quickly guessed that something might have happened to Li Dawei. The last city Li Dawei went to was Nodding City, but the information Liu Tian received confirmed that Li Dawei's carriage did indeed leave Nodding City. In desperation, he issued a notice to the entire province of Fasno. Xiao Zhan secretly breathed a sigh of relief after hearing the news. Fortunately, he reacted in time and took care of the carriage matter. Otherwise, their Xiao family will surely suffer. Unfortunately, he didn't know that Tang Hao happened to be hiding in the town where the carriage disappeared. It was learned from Yu Xiaojiang that Tang San would go to Shrek Academy soon. Thinking of avoiding Li Dawei's death and implicating Tang San, Tang Hao left Nodding City ahead of schedule. On the only way to Soto City, wait for the arrival of Tang San and Qitian. These guys actually found this place. With Tang Hao's mental strength, he had already made sure that there was no one around when he started. There was no time to think too much, he couldn't be exposed at the moment, so he had to stay dormant for the time being. Chapter 36 The Third Soul Ring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What is happening in the outside world is difficult for Qitian, who is far away in the mixed area of the Star Do Forest, to know. Aware of Wen Shi and Wen Zhong's gaze, he pretended to watch the battle and took advantage of the situation to keep a sufficient distance from them. It seems that they want to rip off the vote. Qitian was wary, but one thing doesn't make sense. If he wants to split the vote, why should Liu bother? When he entered the mixed zone, why would he have to deal with the wind-fierce demon dog instead of just taking action? Reminiscent of this, Wen Zhong and Wen Shi only changed their eyes after Liu left. It was not difficult for Qitian to guess. It seems that Liu's team is not of the same mind. Perhaps due to Liu's power, these four guys stopped thinking. Feeling the movement in the distance, Liu's battle is coming to an end. Do you want to absorb the next soul ring? You must know that when absorbing a soul ring, it is the soul master's most vulnerable stage. Once someone makes a sneak attack, they may be seriously injured or even die on the spot. Perhaps Liu is trustworthy, that there's no way, we're already here. It's definitely too late to run away. Since these four guys are afraid of Liu, let's take a gamble on Liu and bet that he will keep his promise. Soon after, the strong smell of blood was blown away by gusts of cool wind. In Qitian's sight, Liu was holding the wind-like demonic dog's hind legs with one hand and dragging it on the ground. The wind demonic dog was still breathing, and its internal organs could be clearly seen from the huge claw marks on its abdomen. Qitian glanced at the four people in the article, and sure enough, after Liu came back, the killing intent in their eyes quickly disappeared. What are you doing standing there in a daze? This guy is going to die. If you still need a soul ring, come and hit him quickly. Liu scolded with a smile. The efficiency of this trip was surprisingly high. Including the time spent on the return journey, this trip earned 4,000 gold soul coins in a total of 5 days, 40% of the captain's commission. For the first time, Liu felt that money came in so quickly. There was no ink mark on Qitian, and he stood there, charging his right hand slightly before making a deliberate punch. Among his current soul skills, this is the only one that can be considered a long-range attack, and the other moves must be done at close range to be effective. As the dragon's roar sounded, the powerful punch turned into a flying golden dragon, harvesting the life of the wind-fierce demon dog, and the dark purple soul ring fell out. Qitian's deliberate punch just now did not cause any damage, only the initial power. But as Qitian's strength grew, the power of his soul skills became much greater than before. The punch just now had the potential to push back all the cool wind that blew in front of them. But Liu did not see Qitian's soul ring, nor did he see soul power fluctuations in parts of his body. It's not a soul bone skill, nor a soul skill. Self-created soul skills. Liu exclaimed. Even the four people in the article have uncertain looks in their eyes. You must know that people with self-created soul skills are all geniuses among geniuses. And behind Qitian, there is likely to be a powerful family. Qitian's actions before entering the forest let many people know that he followed Liu's team into the forest. Once the vote is broken, none of them can escape. Besides, Liu was there. Qitian did not give any explanation, but said, "Mr. Liu, please protect me. I need to absorb this soul ring now." Leo nodded numbly. Obviously he hadn't gotten over the surprise just now. Tian walked forward and sat down cross-legged. 2 yellow and purple soul rings appeared at his feet. The second ring of the millennium. What kind of monster is this? That the situation before him seemed to further prove that Qitian had an extraordinary origin. The 4 people in the article exchanged glances with each other. As there was no major conflict of interest, they chose to stay put. Leo's expression when he looked at Qitian became extremely complicated, and he also forgot to check whether the soul bones were produced from the soul beast's corpse. What Qitian did just now was to make these guys guess about his identity, so that they could use a weapon to protect themselves. Come on, 3,500-year-old soul ring, I hope you can give me a powerful soul skill. Taking a deep breath, Qitian stretched out his hand, and a dark purple soul ring was placed on his hand, followed by a powerful soul pressure. With a muffled groan, Qitian quickly entered the state. Captain, I'm afraid this kid has an extraordinary background. Even though he possesses the 1,000-year-old second ring, the 3,500-year-old soul ring has far exceeded the limit that the third soul ring can bear. If he explodes and dies, we are afraid that there's trouble. When Dong couldn't help but whisper, the 4 brothers were wanted criminals. After arriving in the Star Forest and teaming up with Leo, life stabilized. They have already offended the Tian Empire, but if they offend another big force that doesn't know the situation, there will be no place for them in the world. Leo pondered for a moment and then said, this is his choice, and he can find the location of the soul beast so quickly. I think the family behind him has also acquiesced in his choice. Nothing should happen. After all, the big forces will not take their future. The successor is joking. Then why didn't they send someone in person? When she muttered, this look is very much like fishing law enforcement, there might be a pair of eyes staring at them from the dark. If they make the slightest move, the strong man behind them will kill them all. Leo warned, stop your thoughts, since the employer has given us money, we should do our job well. Time passed by minute by second. When Qitian absorbed the soul ring, it was noon. When he opened his eyes again, it was already evening. Fortunately, both of his big bets were successful. Leo and others stood in front of him and said with a smile, your talent exceeds any genius I have ever seen. Your future is limitless. As he said that, Leo glanced at the sky again. This is the territory of the wind fiend demonic wolf. No soul beast will cross the border in a short time. We will rest here tonight and set off early tomorrow morning. Dong, I heard that you are very good at making dog meat. Let's eat this guy's body tonight. Name, Qitian. Rating, Apprentice, 20%, upgraded to Warrior, 60%. Martial Spirit, Double Fists, Double Eyes. Strength, 1000. Spirit, 2000. Soul Power, 33. Soul Ring, Yellow Purple. Special Skills, Deliberate Punch, Qingyun Step. Looking at the updated system panel, Qitian thought, it seems that the rating is linked to my soul power level. A 60% increase in all attributes, this is very scary. That's right, the percentage displayed after the rating is the percentage by which the attack power is increased when Qitian attacks. In battle, Qitian is equivalent to enjoying the increase of the auxiliary soul master all the time. Generally, auxiliary soul masters cannot achieve a 60% increase in all attributes, only the Soul Emperor level 7 treasures glazed pagoda martial soul can do this. I'm a team by myself. Qitian looked towards the horizon, his heart full of fighting spirit. As for what the third soul skill is, he has no need to tell the soul hunting team. Chapter 37. The soul bone appears and the fight begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 4 Wendong people once hid in the Soul Beast Forest for a long time in order to avoid being hunted by the Tian Empire. It was also during this period that Wendong's cooking skills improved. Especially the roasted dog meat, he made it very delicious. Normally, the corpse of a 3,500-year-old soul beast can be sold for more than 800 gold soul coins. But Leo was the only one who contributed, and when the money was finally divided, he got 90%. Now that he has said so, the 4 Wendong people will not have trouble with Leo for just a few dozen gold soul coins. Moreover, eating soul beast meat will also help their cultivation. When Dong pulled out the machete from behind, raised the knife with his hand, and chopped off the head of the foamly demon dog. The head of a rare soul beast like the Wind Fiend dog is loved by many collectors, and can be sold for a lot of money if you meet the right seller. When Dong was about to cut open the Windlai demonic dog's skin, the machete suddenly struck something hard, and a gap appeared on the blade. Soul bone. Leo and others quickly gathered around. When Dong parted the flesh, and a piece of soul bone emitting white light slowly fell in front of them. I actually have soul bones. What kind of luck do I have? Qitian's mouth twitched slightly. Even if he didn't choose to absorb the 3,500-year-old soul bone, he could easily sell it for hundreds of thousands of gold soul coins at the auction house. But it happened that the soul bone exploded at this moment. The thing that is most likely to cause conflicts between the soul hunting team and the employer is the soul bone. Tian quickly stated his position. I will not participate in the competition for soul bones. According to the previous agreement, the soul bones belong to you. Although he wanted it very much in his heart, what's the use of flowers without life if you have life to take it? Leo and others did not regard Tian as a competitor at the beginning. Even if the soul ring configuration was heaven-defying, he himself was only a soul master and had nothing to fear. At the same time, they were also worried about whether there was really a strong person following Qitian. Otherwise, they would have no choice but to give up their soul bones. Damn! Leo's face was extremely ugly. The four Wendong people are already bound by interests. They came together in the first place because of the same interests. Now for the soul bone, there is competition between them. But 1 against 4, and facing 4 defensive soul masters, he had no advantage. Qitian didn't dare to stay any longer and ran away from here quickly. Once the news about the soul bones is leaked, a hunting game will definitely take place in this forest. Knowing clearly the stakes involved, Qitian didn't even take a second look at the soul bone. Leo, please give this soul bone to our brother. When the time comes, after we sell the soul bone, your share will be indispensable. Seeing Qitian leave, Wendong no longer had any worries in his heart. He held his head high, not taking Leo seriously at all. Agile attack-type soul masters are also fast, and their attack power is more than a little weaker than those of strong attack-type soul masters. The 4 Wendongs had the numerical advantage and did not give Leo any face. When Zhong reached out to grab the soul bone, and under the cover of Wendong and the others, he quickly ran behind him. Of course, there is no absolute trust between them. They came from the same village and got together because their interests were highly bound. If Wenzhong ran away with his soul bones, they would be in big trouble. The 4th soul skill, hunting time. Leo took action instantly. He had never wanted to reveal the soul bone, because it would quickly disband their team. At the same time, it also meant that his trial was over and it was time to return to his family. In this situation, he could only seize the soul bone first. After returning to the family, he would use his soul bones to buy himself a few more years of freedom and happiness. Leo's hands turned into bloody claws, and his attack speed surged a lot. When Dong and the others were tired of dealing with it, and they also wanted to shorten the distance with Wenzhong. In this way, the 3 of them activated their defensive soul skills, and while chasing Wenzhong, the 3 of them also crossed to defend against Leo's attack. Tian came to the Star Forest for the first time. He followed the system prompts and had Leo guiding him, so he wouldn't get lost. Now, he was alone, and he didn't have a topographic map of the forest in his hand, so he couldn't find the exit at all. The easiest way is to walk in one direction, but who knows if there is a powerful soul beast's territory ahead. Behind him, the fighting sound of Leo and others disappeared. While Tian was secretly glad in his heart, he could only rest where he was. Running around without knowing the route will only make you lose your way sooner. What he has to do now is to wait for dawn, find a high point, overlook the entire forest, and then make plans. Time soon came to late at night, at the place where Tian and others were originally stationed. After feeling the fluctuation of soul power, a team of people quickly rushed here. Director Feng, we are a step late. The Feng Lai demon dog has been attacked first. A young man in a blue school uniform said. In the team, the middle-aged man called Director Feng touched his chin. This should be a team of 4 to 5 people, and they left in a hurry. When Dong had already prepared the bamboo skewers and barbecue grill at the beginning. The middle-aged man only found the burnt charcoal and no trace of meat on the bamboo skewers. Tian, what do you think? Director Feng looked at the young man wearing a mask. I feel a familiar aura. It seems that someone from the family appears nearby. Director Feng, look, they have prepared the meat skewers, but they have not skewered the meat. The young man continued, the body of the wind-lie demon dog was only divided into a small part. I think there should be soul bones, and the team of these people either had internal strife or was being targeted by other teams. On. The traces of battle around him are obvious, and it's not difficult to guess them. Director Feng nodded and said, Tian, should we go after the soul bones, or should we continue to hunt for souls? The young man said without hesitation, hunting souls. They can kill the wind-fierce demon dog for 3,500 years. These people must have the strength of the soul sect or above, and they also have the aura of family disciples. If the soul bones are really obtained, you will know when you return to the family. If you fail to get it, someone more powerful will probably fight for it. Soul bones are not our goal, and 3,500 years of soul bones are not worth losing our lives. Director Feng said with a satisfied look on his face, Tian is right, a genius will always be a genius until he grows up. Only geniuses who survive are qualified to become strong. You are all the pride of Shenfeng Academy. In the Soul Master competition 3 years later, the Academy will be proud of you. Well, you still have a long way to go in life, and you will still have the opportunity to meet soul bones in the future. We will come out this time. The purpose is to obtain the soul ring for Tian, and I don't care about other things. That young man was Feng Tian, the captain of the Divine Wind Academy team. After thinking for a moment, he continued, the wind demonic dog is the 4th spirit ring that is most suitable for me. Since someone has taken the lead, let's rest tonight. The other spirit beast my father prepared for me is a little far away from here. Tomorrow morning, we will move forward at full speed. Chapter 38 Feng Leo, Crazy Leo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, Tian climbed to the top of a big tree according to his previous idea. This big tree is more than 30 meters high. Standing on it, you can see the scenery far away. However, if you look around, there are trees everywhere you look. Tian remembered the general direction in which he came. Even if he followed this direction, he passed through the territories of the soul beasts and finally walked out of the forest. But there is more than one entrance to the Star Do forest. If the direction he comes out is in a deserted place, he will most likely not be able to find his way to Tiando City. Moreover, the security on Douluo Continent is very poor, and there may be some bandits stationed in those barren mountains and ridges. Damn it, how are we going to get out? Tian felt a little irritable. He is not a road addict, but he has traveled too many roads in the past 2 days, and he is not the strongest brain. How can he remember so much at once? What's more, there are no landmarks in the forest, so it's unrealistic to find the way you came, but we have to leave. We are now in a mixed zone and may encounter danger at any time. At the same time, a team of 3 people was approaching Tian's position. Brother, is it possible that someone really exploded a soul bone in this forest? The burly man couldn't help but ask. It can't be false. There was a lot of movement in the forest last night, and the deacon also learned about this from a dying person. But shouldn't we wait for the deacon where we are? The Star Do forest is so big, what if we go the wrong way and encounter danger? As a disciple of the Elephant Armor sect, how can we be greedy for life and afraid of death? The 3 of us are soul lords, and I will break through the soul sect soon. With such strength, what's the harm in meeting a 1,000-year soul beast? Qitian, who was looking for a way, accidentally bumped into the 3 of them. In the Star Forest, the weak eat the strong. Now that we have encountered each other, unless both parties have no intention of taking action, it will be difficult to do anything good. I didn't expect to bump into such a young boy. Who are you? Tian asked warily, rushing to activate the martial spirit before you are sure to take action will only arouse conflicts between the two parties. Tian didn't want to be troublesome. If the other party didn't pester him, he would leave immediately. We are disciples of the Haotian Sect. Remember, my name is Huyanba. The leading young man said with a wanton smile. Second master, my name is Huyanchi. Third master, my name is Huyannan. Hearing Huyanba's words, Tian felt a little unhappy, but after hearing the names of the three of them, Tian even wanted to laugh a little. As for the joke, just remove the surnames and combine the first names of the three of them. Huyanjin, the leader of the Elephant Armor Sect, is not a good bird either. Moreover, the disciples of the Elephant Armor Sect are usually arrogant and domineering. When I saw it today, it was indeed the case. It's nothing, just say goodbye. Tian immediately retreated. When he corrects his mistakes with these guys, he is the one who suffers. You must know that they have the support of the sect behind them, but Qitian can only rely on himself. Boy, do you think the Star Doe Forest is your home? Come and leave whenever you want. You are unlucky to meet us today. Either hand over your valuables and kowtow to us, maybe I can help you let me go. Otherwise, this will be your burial place. Since a fight is inevitable, Qitian has no reason to back down. The Elephant Armor Sect's inherited martial spirit is the Diamond Mammoth. This defensive martial spirit is no different from a sandbag in Qitian's eyes, just as he was getting ready to take action. Suddenly, an earth dragon emerged from under the ground. 8,000 years of earth dragon. Qitian was horrified. Just now, his attention had been on Huyanba and the others, and he had not noticed when there was such a guy underground. Fortunately, the three people in Huyanbo stood together and were swallowed by the earth dragon. It seemed to be full, and without even looking at Qitian, it burrowed into the ground again. Spirit beasts like earth dragon have no fixed abode, so it seems we need to be more careful. If these three unlucky guys hadn't stopped him, he might have been the target of the earth dragon's attack. As for the three unlucky ones, they were bitten by the disc-shaped teeth in the mouth of the earth dragon without any precautions, and they had already turned into pieces of minced meat. With this lesson in mind, Qitian kept jumping back and forth between tree trunks on the next road. Even if there was another earth dragon sneak attack, he would have time to react. In the evening, Qitian didn't know if he was taking the right path. He found a hidden cave and was about to rest when suddenly there was movement around him. This breath belongs to Leo. If Leo has been fighting for his soul bones since last night, then he probably doesn't have much soul power left now. After hesitating for a moment, Qitian decided to take a look. Leo took good care of him along the way. If it weren't for the sudden appearance of the soul bone, perhaps this trip would have ended smoothly. Soul bones are items sought after by countless soul masters on the continent. Who knows, it is also the source of disaster. Crazy Leo, I haven't seen you for many years. I didn't expect to see you on such an occasion. Hu Yanhua, don't be pretentious here. Since you want soul bones, then step over my body first. Hu Yanhua is the deacon among the three people in Huyanba. Last night, he happened to find Wen Zhong who was on the verge of death. Perhaps in order to take revenge on Leo, the article deliberately leaked the information about the soul bones to Hu Yanhua. Leo killed Wen Nan and just took the soul bone from him. However, he was unexpectedly attacked by Hu Yan and almost died. He is seriously injured now. Even if Hu Yanhua doesn't take action, he will be exhausted soon. Hu Yanhua, who was well aware of all this, did not rush to take action in order to avoid Leo's dying counterattack. Crazy Leo, more than 10 years ago, you were a well-known lunatic in the Element City. I didn't expect that after not seeing each other for so many years, you would actually to end up like this. As the captain of the soul hunting team, he actually slaughtered his own members. Tell me, if Feng Changlin knew this news, would he still recognize you as a member of the tribe? Not far away, Qitian hid his figure and happened to hear these words. Su Chongqing had already told him the names of the deans of several high-level soul master academies near Tiando City before setting off. This Feng Changlin is the dean of Shenfeng Academy. Divine Wind Academy is the property of the Feng family in Elemental City. Leo is from his tribe, doesn't that mean that Liu's real name is Feng Liu? According to his age, isn't he Feng Xiaotian's uncle? With Hu Yanhua's back facing Qitian, it was indeed difficult for him to detect the latter's presence. But Liu, as an agility attack spirit master, is also a wolf spirit. His senses were quite sensitive, and he quickly noticed Qitian's presence. He couldn't stand a villain like Hu Yanhua the most. Since he was going to die sooner or later, he might as well use the other person as a backer. But he was not sure whether Qitian came to help him or simply coveted the soul bone in his hand. If it is the former, it proves that Qitian has an extraordinary character and knows how to reciprocate kindness. If it's the latter, there's nothing wrong with it. After all, it's a soul bone, who wouldn't be tempted? Hu Yanhua, you sanctimonious guy, your Xiangjia sect will be finished sooner or later. The fifth soul skill, demonic blood surge. Crazy Liu, you are a complete lunatic. Chapter 39 Liu's Will. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu was already dying, but now he was burning his life force to forcefully release his soul skills. Isn't it good to go to death honestly? You have to do this. Hu Yanhua cursed secretly in his heart, but at the same time, he activated his fifth soul skill for defense, with Liu's crazy attack, even though their soul skill levels were almost the same. But when the opponent is at his best, Hu Yanhua will definitely lose. Now, his explosive attack was indeed difficult for Hu Yanhua to resist in a short period of time, but this kind of offensive can't last long with Liu's current vitality. Thinking of this, Hu Yanhua blindly used defensive soul skills. What a good opportunity. Qitian was overjoyed. Just as he was about to make a sneak attack, he suddenly hesitated. In his eyes, Liu's posture was like a murderous one. And for the sake of his soul bone, he has ended up in such a situation. If he regards himself as an enemy, it will be troublesome. After a while, Liu's attack speed dropped a lot, and he was in a very weak state. Qitian made up his mind, even if the other party regarded him as an enemy, it didn't matter. When his soul power was exhausted, he couldn't do anything to him. Qinyan's step, that with a silent recitation in his mouth, Qitian's feet were filled with wind, and his steps were extremely light. A few people jumped up and arrived behind Hu Yanhua. 3 yellow, purple, and purple soul rings appeared quickly, and the next moment, the third purple soul ring suddenly lit up. The third soul skill, Fist Fierce Gangfeng. After the soul skill was activated, Qitian's punch speed was more than twice as fast as before. Moreover, every time he swings his fist, the airflow formed around the fist will be captured by him. After 3 punches, a strong blast of wind rose out of thin air. Hu Yanhua did not expect that someone would sneak attack, but when he noticed Qitian's soul ring, he suddenly became angry. A mere soul master dares to sneak attack the soul king, and he overestimates his own capabilities. Hu Yanhua, there's still me. The veins on Liu's forehead popped out, and he forced himself to attack again. Qitian's attack power is good, and Hu Yanhua has entered into his punching rhythm. But with the gap in soul power, Hu Yanhua might break free at any time. Liu knew that what he had to do was to keep Hu Yanhua to death and create suitable opportunities for Qitian. This damn brat has such a strong attack power. In a defensive posture, the diamond mammoth spirit can withstand many attacks. But Qitian's fist hit his waist every time. It's just a sandbag, what a shame. Qitian secretly laughed in his heart, just like the video game he played in Blue Star in his previous life. Liu would hold the boss for him, and he would just follow behind and deal damage. As the number of punches increases, the wind becomes more violent. At first, it might have been just a slight breeze, but now, the strong wind is like a sharp knife that cuts bones. Gradually, it is difficult for Hu Yanhua to stabilize his body. His defense is based on the premise that the chassis is stable. Once it is blown away by the strong wind, his defense will be shattered instantly. Liu, you. Before he could finish his words, Hu Yanhua could no longer maintain his balance and was blown away by the strong wind. The first soul skill, Shenglong Fist. Qitian seized the opportunity and threw an uppercut. as the dragon roar sounded, Qitian's fist turned into a charging dragon, hitting Hu Yanhua's vital parts. "Kid, I want you to die." The intense pain made Hu Yanhua furious, however, Qitian would not give him a chance to breathe. "It's not over yet," a deliberate punch. Rumble a loud noise, all the surrounding trees were overturned, and even the strong wind that Qitian had hit earlier was shattered by the power of this powerful blow. There was a pop, Hu Yanhua fell to the ground, and the rise and fall of his chest was very weak. It was obvious that he was seriously injured. Leo didn't hesitate. The sharp claw on his right hand pierced his chest and his heart at the same time. After mending the knife, Leo had no more strength and collapsed to the side. Seeing this, Qitian didn't say much. When he was about to leave, he was stopped by Leo. "Wait a minute. Captain Leo, what else can you do?" Leo supported his body with both hands and reluctantly leaned against the tree trunk next to him. He miserably and said, "I didn't expect that you would come to save me." Qitian spread his hands and said, "The jade is not guilty, but it is the crime of having a jade. Even if you are as strong as you have been tortured into this. With my little strength, I don't dare to think about the soul bone." Leo laughed at himself. "I have lived for most of my life, but I haven't lived as thoroughly as a little kid like you. It's all caused by the greed in my heart." After a pause, he continued, "You should be a student, right? Given your age, are you preparing to enter the Advanced Soul Master Academy?" Qitian shrugged, and suddenly he had a different feeling. The Leo in front of him actually showed his emotional side. "I'm not a healing soul master, and I don't know much about medicine. I think you're seriously injured in this posture. Tell me what medicinal materials you need, and I'll help you find them." Leo shook his head. "I'm not going to die soon. I'm very happy that you can have this heart. Why waste your efforts? Back then, when I left my family, I realized the cruelty of the Soul Master world. Just like today, if I were stronger, how could I end up in this situation?" Qitian did not speak and stood quietly aside. After careful observation, he felt that the life breath in the other party's body was rapidly dissipating. Unless he immediately takes out the treasures of heaven and earth that have the effect of life and death, flesh and bones, there will be no way to save the day. People used to call me Crazy Leo. I thought I would die because of my madness, but I didn't expect that I would die from my soul bones. As he spoke, the soul bone shook out from Leo's arms. Not only did he have no intention of picking it up, but he actively pushed it out. "Qitian, this soul bone belongs to you. I am a member of the Feng family in the Elemental City. I have no chance to go back now. I hope you can hand this letter to Feng Wuhuang and tell him that I will not go back again." Leo used all his strength to pull out an envelope with yellowed paper from his arms, and the 10,000 gold soul card that Qitian had previously paid him slipped out. "I still have some money with me, please take it all with me, I hope." Before he finished speaking, Leo had already left. There was not much friendship between Qitian and him, let alone friends. Even if he didn't say anything, Qitian would touch his body after he died. However, Qitian was not a ruthless person. After making sure that no one was around, he put the soul bone and golden soul card together with the letter into the soul guide. Since he did not refuse Leo's last request, Qitian will definitely deliver the letter to Feng Wu's hands for him after arriving in Tiando City. After groping for Leo's body for a while, Qitian only found a soul guide. But he did not intend to keep it as his own, but decided to hand it to Feng Wuhuang together with the envelope. After burying his body, Qitian took advantage of the situation and took away Hu Yanhua's belongings. As for the latter's body, just leave it here as food for the soul beast. Before leaving, Qitian thought, "It's over, I forgot to ask Leo about the way out of the Star Doe Forest." Chapter 40 The Calculating Guy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not far after walking out, a burst of subtitles appeared in Qitian's mind. Trigger event, defeat a Soul King level powerhouse for the first time, and reward an enhanced deliberate punch. Enhanced deliberate punch, 50% of the damage dealt within 10 seconds is converted into additional damage from the deliberate punch. Deliberate punches are more powerful, but there is an upper limit. The blow he delivers will not exceed the limit that Qitian's body can withstand. In other words, the simultaneous superposition of the enemy's damage and your own damage is not completely unlimited. After all, once the power of a soul skill exceeds the limit of one's endurance, it will be equivalent to self-destruction. Compared to the enhancement brought by soul skills, what Tian urgently needs now is to find a way out of the Star Doe forest. Helpless, he could only fumble forward on his own. Liu did not deal with the 4 Wendong people cleanly. Vincent dragged his seriously injured body and fled to the outskirts of the forest, where he was rescued by a group of people who were just about to enter the forest. In order to get revenge on Liu, he told almost everyone he met. Soon, everyone in the entire Soul Beast town knew the news about the soul bones. For a time, many people poured into the forest for the soul bones. But what they don't know is that the soul bone is currently in Qitian. Qitian quickly found the right path by following the traces of these people. Of course, these people had good anti-tracking awareness, and Qitian had to crawl for who knows how long before he walked out of the star forest. Looking at the bustling Soul Beast town in front of him, the stone hanging in his heart finally fell, thanks to the fact that he had prepared multiple sets of changes of clothes in the soul guide. Otherwise he would have probably run naked out of the forest now. After casually making inquiries in the town, he realized that more than 2 months had passed since he entered the forest. However, there is good news. Liu Tian, the governor of Fasno province, issued a wanted order throughout the Tiando Empire. The portrait on the wanted poster is of Tang Hao in a cloak. When Liu Tian sent people to find Li Douai's carriage, those guys happened to have a conflict with Tang Hao. Worried about being punished for being unfavorable in doing things, the guys looking for the carriage decisively made Tang Hao the murderer of Li Douai. But they didn't expect that they accidentally guessed the identity of the real murderer. The way from Soul Beast Town to Tiando City must pass through Soto City. Originally Qitian was worried that his previous efforts were in vain, but now it seems that Tang Hao will most likely not see Tang San in order to avoid being implicated. After finding a hotel at random, Qitian quickly washed up. There was no chance to take a bath in the forest, he would already stink. At the same time, in a room in the town, a young man in luxurious clothes asked, "Are you sure the soul bone is in Leo's hands?" In front of him was Vincent, who had escaped from the forest earlier. When they first heard about the soul bones, many people were ready to take action. But as time went by, the whereabouts of Soul Bone and Leo were never discovered. Over time, most of them lost interest and exited the forest one after another, but this did not include the young man in front of him. Vince didn't dare to hide it and said quickly, "Your Highness, when I escaped, the soul bone was indeed in Leo's hands." Leo has been a mercenary for more than 10 years, so he must be familiar with the terrain in the forest. Perhaps, he is hiding at the moment somewhere in the forest. Oh, by the way. There was a guy named Qitian who entered the forest with us. I'm afraid this guy has a lot of background. Leo took good care of him along the way. If he sees Leo later, the soul bone will be very good. It could be on him. Just the family behind him. In order to survive, Wensi used the accurate information of the soul bone to get this young man to come forward and invited a healing soul master. If it loses its effect, the young man will most likely kill himself. For the sake of his own life, when she simply made up a nonsense reason, the young man turned to the old man beside him and asked, "Uncle Zhang, is there any big family in the mainland with the surname Qi?" Uncle Zhang thought for a while and said, "Your Highness, there is a marquis family in the Häagen-Dazs kingdom whose surname is Qi, but the inherited martial spirit of their family is the snow owl, not the fist martial spirit this guy mentioned. In fact, body parts are regarded as I have never heard of the situation of Wuhun." The young man's fingers kept tapping on the table, and Vincent's heart was in his throat, fearing that his lie would be exposed. The kingdom of Häagen-Dazs is very close to the far north forest, and it is rare to come to the star forest. This guy may be a disciple with a foreign surname who has joined a big force, but he cannot be the family member of Marquis Qi. We have been squatting in the town these days, and the guys who come out are all dejected. It is unlikely that the soul bones are in their hands. Uncle Zhang, wait a little longer. If this guy wants to leave the town, we must detain him as soon as possible. Down. If he is really a disciple of the Marquis Qi family, in order to prevent conflicts between the two kingdoms, we will let him go. If not, and there is no powerful family behind him, perhaps, we can add him to the royal family. Uncle Jean wondered, what if he refuses? The young man sneered and said, it doesn't matter whether the soul bone is in him or not, what's important is him. Since I, the Barak royal family, can't get it, other forces can't get it either. After leaving the hotel, Qitian's next stop is Soto City. There is no way, the official road to Tiendo City must pass through Soto City. Not to mention the risk of getting lost if you take a small road. Encountering a powerful bandit is a tricky thing after all. Entering Soto City at this time, you might encounter Tang San. TSK, Xiao Jia San has two big opportunities ahead, and Tian doesn't want the 8 spider spear to fall into his hands. Unknowingly, he had reached the exit of Soul Beast Town. Suddenly, dozens of people rushed out of the shops on both sides and surrounded him. Who are you? Tian looked at these people warily. The soul bone that had been fought over by countless people was on his body at the moment. Once it was exposed, what awaited him would be a disaster. These people did not speak. Soon, 3 figures passed by these people and walked to Qitian. Qitian happened to know one of them, whence he pointed at him and said respectfully, Your Highness, this is Qitian who hunts souls with me. The young man nodded and took a few steps forward. You are Qitian. You look no more than 14 years old. Unexpectedly, you are already a soul master. Who are you? Wenxi's actions just now were obviously planned for a long time, but Qitian didn't even know who this guy was, let alone have any grudge against him. The young man smiled and said, I am the eldest son of His Majesty the King of Balak Kingdom. You can call me Sirin Kundla. Kundera. This surname is unique to the Balak royal family. Qitian has heard that the current king of the Balak Kingdom is the brother of Emperor Shui. Because he failed in the competition for the throne, the Balak Kingdom was leaderless at that time. After Shui came to the throne, instead of holding him accountable, he assigned the kingdom of Barak to him. However, he could no longer call himself Shui and was forced to change his name to Kundera.